I'm high on every team in my top 25 this season, but things could still go horribly wrong for some of them. Let's continue to look at the disaster scenarios, this time with teams 10 through 6. It feels like Texas A&M is knocking on the door of greatness. They're top 10 in returning production. They have all the players lined up. It looks like they have their quarterback in Marcel Reed, but we've also seen this story before. Texas A&M has had supremely talented rosters, even more talented than this one, and just fallen on their face. It would look like another pedestrian year. They go 7-5. Maybe they get a bowl win. It's just the same thing, and it'll feel exactly like the Jimbo era. Oregon has a pretty high floor with their overall talent level. They outmatch most of the teams they play in Big Ten play, but an underwhelming year 2 would look like the Ducks not being able to reload at that same super high level. Maybe the offensive line concerns are still there. Maybe some of those new portal additions don't gel. Maybe Dante Moore doesn't seamlessly fit into the offense like the last couple of guys have, and the Ducks end up with like a disappointing, disastrous by their new standards 8-4 season. For Clemson, I think a disaster looks somewhat similar. I think it includes them losing those two marquee non-conference matchups they have versus Georgia and to start the season versus LSU, and then taking a few conference losses. Maybe they lose to Louisville again, and it's because the offense has some issues. Maybe Tom Allen's defense can't initially get up to speed, and this would be Clemson's worst fear, that the game has passed up Dabo Swinney a little bit, and even in a year where they look so good on paper, they can't capitalize and have a special year. Georgia's disaster scenario is not entirely impossible. Last season, Carson Beck, yes, he was turnover prone, but he bailed out the offense a lot with his downfield throwing ability. Without that ability this year, Gunnar Stockton, if the running game isn't going smoothly, will he be able to bail them out? In the disaster scenario, the answer will be no. Georgia will lose some uncharacteristic games. Maybe they lose a rivalry game in there, one of those streaks they've had going, and turn in a disappointing 8-4 year. Ohio State has so much newness this year that there are a number of things that could go wrong. Obviously, they have a pretty high floor with their overall talent level, but they're breaking in a new quarterback. They're breaking in a number of new defensive contributors, new coordinators on both sides of the football. Things could go wrong if things don't gel immediately. Maybe they lose some of their top games. Maybe they lose to Michigan again and lose the non-conference game to Texas, miss the playoffs, miss the Big Ten title game, and don't get a rivalry win either.